Ayan. So, hello everyone and welcome to another session for GAMPRG2. Now, I've taught you all yung mga basics of yung C++. Um, Technically, with all that knowledge that you have, you could finish your project one, your midterms, no? Kasi you have the spawning, you have the moving, you have the colliders, you have the event dispatchers, uh Now, you do have yung um, obstacles and pickup, right? So I'm not sure what you guys did before, but um, usually you would do add child component and all. You can also just do the normal spawn actor, but you have to keep track of everything, no? So you could either do either or. The thing is, yung when you're doing the child actor component, it's not as simple as what we have in Blueprint. No. So you could either learn about it. I could teach you some time about it also, but essentially it's like two or three lines of code for it. No. So why would you want to do add child actor component? You just want it so that it attaches to your actor, and then when the actor gets deleted, it automatically gets deleted. Else, if you don't use it, you have to keep track of it somehow, no, like the array and stuff. But anyway, um, we'll get to that. So anyway, today though, I'm gonna teach you how to debug your code. So why is there like a day for just debugging your code? Has anyone experienced where you can't open your project anymore because something messed up in your code, and then all of a sudden you can't open your project, so ang ginawa nyo, gumawa na kayo ng bagong project. Yes, yeah, has happened. uh you could have messaged me. You could have messaged me. I could have helped you there. No, it's it's just fairly simple fix, pero it's something na you really encounter, and something that you have to know how to fix it yourself. So that misspell lang pala. Yeah. Yeah, that can happen. So yun. But yeah, today we're going to do that, and I'm going to show you how to fix your code. So it may not be relevant for you now, but in the future it may be, because there you may accidentally um do something, and then your project just you can't open it anymore no matter what you do. Okay, so let's I will replicate those problems, and then I'll show you how to fix it. All right, so these are same project, but then um let's start with the very easier one, yung mas madali. So you may have encountered where when you try to spawn your obstacle or your pickup, even though you set the transform, right, the position, pero yung mga static mesh, yung mga colliders is like on 000, right? Um, Kahit na like you can select here, parang nakasabi dito na oh, tama yung location. Pero why is it that the static mesh and the colliders and everything else is stuck at 000? So let's try to replicate that. Gawa tayo ng bagong class. Let's call it the buggy actor. Tapos while I create this, and then while I create it, I add the components to it. You're gonna have to tell me what is wrong with my code. All right. So right now it's creating it. Sige, while that's creating, let's go add the components. What I want is a collider, a sphere collider, or a sphere component, and a static mesh component. So let's do that. Reload. So una, use sphere component is not, you have to forward declare it. So I'll put it here. U sphere component. So this is my sphere collider. So let's go create that. We have a U sphere component, sphere component, and then um, a static mesh. U static mesh component, and then static mesh. So let's do U property, visible anywhere, and then let's also do that here. U property, oops, property visible anywhere. Okay. Then for the CPP, let's go sphere. Oh, include muna. Include our the script for the sphere component. So that's under components slash sphere component. So we have the sphere component, oops, is equal to create default subobject. Use sphere component sphere. And then for our static mesh equal to create default subobject u static mesh component. Let's call it static mesh. And then let's bind that to our, let's attach it to our sphere. So static mesh setup attachment to our sphere component. Okay. Uh, what is this? Wait lang ah. Ah, sorry. I was coding while it was still trying to compile. Visible anywhere. I cannot spell. Anywhere. Okay. So let me just put this here. Okay. So we have our buggy actor. Let's create a BP for it. BP buggy. BP buggy actor. So you'll see that we have our sphere component, we have our static mesh. We can, let's give it a static mesh, the sphere. Let's, we can give it also a material for it, basic floor. And then let's just create the radius. Let's increase it a bit. All right, so here's our sphere, our buggy actor. And then right now we're gonna add it. We're gonna spawn it to our level. So what do we have here? Test game mode. So we go to test game mode, spawn actor, and then PP buggy actor. Let's give it a transform. Let's put it to 1000, 500, 500, 500. Okay, so we're just spawning. We're spawning the buggy actor. The buggy actor has a sphere and a static mesh. Uh, okay, and we did it on begin play. So if you press play, you'll notice. Oh, you're right. Why are you right? 500, 500, 500. You're not supposed to be right. 500, 500. The buggy actor. USB. It's delay it. Delay it for 5 seconds. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. 5 seconds. Oh damn, you're right. Okay. Do I need to make it a pawn? We can make it to a pawn. When we want to make it a pawn, should I? I could pawn a pawn, pawn. Why did it work? Will this work? 5 seconds. Oh, it worked. Okay. All right. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But okay, tell me what is wrong with this code. Anyone? Anyone? No? Looks all right to you guys? Sige. One thing that could potentially fail is around this part or in here, right? Because technically, sphere component is not attached to anything. We have created a component for it, yes, but technically we didn't attach it to anything. Sometimes it the the Unreal handles it correctly. In this case, it did handle it correctly. Sometimes it doesn't. So usually, what you'd want to do is a set root component, set root component, and then sphere component. All right. You'd have to set it to the root, or else sometimes it may not work, and you're gonna be like scratching your heads. For example, ito, if you didn't attach this properly, the static mesh, and let's say we compiled it. Let me just refresh this one, actor, and then buggy. So technically, this is not attached to anything. So supposedly, it will spawn somewhere else, the sphere component. Yeah. So there's these cases. This is what I was supposed to show, but gumana si sphere component. But yeah, so this could happen to you, and yeah, only because you did not set it up correctly. Now, if any questions here when it comes to attaching, fairly easy fix, right? So let's say, oh, okay, I just forgot to set up attachment. Okay, compile, press play, and after that, it's still here. We've already fixed the code, set up attachment. However, it's still not attaching, right? So the thing is, this constructor does not always run when you want it to run. We've already compiled our code. It already supposedly did this, right? Well, the thing is, it wasn't enough, I guess, for it to run again after our compiling. Kasi after compiling, dapat nag-run na to eh. But in this case, it didn't. That's why when I tell you guys to, if you want to bind events, do it anywhere else but in the constructor. Because chances are it will not run. This will not run at all. All right, that's why you do it in begin play. So in order to fix this, there are two ways for it. One is you could just in buggy actor right click, asset actions, reload. This could work sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. In this case, if I press reload, yeah, it seems like it worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it has worked. Right. So that's one way to fix it. To right click, asset actions, reload. Another way, if that doesn't work, is what I showed you a while ago. It's like trying to reset your blueprint. So to do that, you go to class settings right here on the blueprint. Class settings, the parent class, you can change it to actor or anything else, and then return it back to the the C++ class. So don't control Z. If you control Z, it doesn't work. Okay. And one thing that yung nangyari dito is when you do that, all the settings are returned back to default, right? So that's one of the bad things about it. It just sucks. But the your code here on the blueprint will remain, right? So if you coded so much already and then may sira yung components nyo, just just change the parent class. It's far easier than just um creating a whole new blueprint for it and whatever, right? Okay, questions, clarification. So this one doesn't have to be pawn. It can also be a actor. Then just make it to actor. And now it is an actor. And yeah, so it works. Questions, clarification for this one? None. Okay. Next, another problem that some may encounter. So let's say I want to make a new static mesh. I want to add more. So let's say I'll just copy this. Copy, paste. Let's name this static mesh. Um, no, I don't want to put numbers. Static mesh base, right? And then you're like, oh, let's just copy paste static mesh, copy paste. This will be static mesh base, and then don't forget the static mesh base. Okay, I did that. I compile and watch as it crashes. Okay, so tell me, what is wrong with my code here? Why do you think it um it just broke my Unreal? Anyone? No? Not sure? Not sure why this code is breaking my Unreal Engine. It's the same code. I have create default sub object. I just set up the attachment to the sphere component. Why is this code breaking Unreal? Okay, no answers. So the reason why it's breaking is this simple string. Why? This string here is the name of the component. Now the thing is, if you've tried if you've tried working with Unreal no, and Blueprint, have you tried naming two components the same? Have you tried having them with the same name? If you've tried it, what you will notice is Unreal doesn't allow you to do that. It always put a number. Medyo. That's when you try to spawn, no? But when I add a component, when you try to add a component, let's say you created two static meshes. You wanted for the wall left and wall right now, but you just call it wall. Unreal will not allow you to just name both of those static mesh components as wall. It'll tell you that there's a similar named component. And same thing here with Unreal in C++. Unreal is not allowing you because there are two components that are named the same. And you should see here default sub-object, static mesh component, static mesh already exists for buggy actor, meaning there's a static mesh component called static mesh. It already exists here, right? That is line, uh, usually you can scroll down here. This one, line CP19, CP19, right here, right? So, oh, okay, sige. Let's just name it different. Static mesh base, right? I just rename it. Then let's restart. Uh, Restart. Starting it, and it's still crashing. Why? Why is it still crashing? Can anyone guess why? Even though we changed the code, why is it not working? So let's try that again. Open. That was demo project. This demo project C. It's not compiled. Correct. So we have changed the code here, but the thing is, it hasn't compiled at all. No, it hasn't compiled for the Unreal, the editor to understand that you have changed something. So there's a way to fix this. One is to simply just press one of these, local Windows debugger or start without debugging. When you press this, it'll compile the code and then it'll open Unreal Engine for you. I just want to test something if this will work. Okay, let's see if that actually worked. Okay, yeah, that worked. So, in order for you to be able to open your Unreal now, you have to compile your code somehow. So it's either pressing these, the local Windows debugger, or simply just building the solution. When you build the solution, it compiles the code and it'll finally appear here. Now, you should only do this when you are not able to open your Unreal Engine project anymore. Okay, don't do this dito lang. All right. Think if let's say you've already you want to do changes whatever and you want to compile, just compile normally here. Doing so will show you all the errors and whatnot. But if you try to compile here and then it will not show some of the errors that will usually appear here, and it's gonna break your game, your Unreal Engine, and then you have to fix it again. Okay, so compile here. Right? Questions for that one when it comes to fixing your code and you know making sure that you rename your stuff. So you should see here all clear naman. We should now have another static mesh that is attached to our sphere. Yeah. Okay. What else pa ba? Hmm. Have I taught you guys TRE? TRE? Did I teach that to you guys already? No? I did spawning. Okay, sige. I'll teach TRE. So, well, it's not a bug, but it's a feature. But I'll show a bug for it. So, TRE. TRE is like vector. If you remember C++, vector is like an array, but you can resize it, you can add, you can remove. Unlike the traditional array where you have a static size for it, and then if you want to increase the size, you have to do multiple operations just to resize that array. No, but with vector, you can simply just add and remove. Now with T-array is a array uh is this it's an array class for you to be able to um add and remove actors and also more stuff you could find and whatnot, right? So what's that called? T array and then less than greater than. So less than greater than, this is the one that the class that you want to put in an array. So it could be, let's say, a objects or a pickup, a obstacle. In this case, I want a actors, a actor asterisk. So this means it is an array of pointers of a actor. Pointers, that means they have already been instantiated. So we have to add, we'll be able to add those. So T array a actor. So we can name this actors. Then this is a U property. U property, let's say edit anywhere. So what do you have for T array? T array has actors dot. You have add. You have the size, or in this case, you call it num. You have um, contains. So if you want to find a certain object, you have contains. You have find also. So it actually give out a index if you want based on whatever actor you want to find. So there's that. You also have insert if you want to put it in a certain index in that array. So there's that insert. You have pop, of course. You have push. You have remove, remove all, remove at. So you have all these. And these are not, some of it are not available in just vector. So it's a strong array class. And then if you want to access a certain index, of course, you can have the brackets. So if you want to access at element 0, sure, and 1, 2, or in case if you want a variable, right? Like element put to 0. You can also put a variable inside the brackets. And now you have access to the um, element. In this case, oh, it is a actor. Okay. So since it's an pointer, I have to put the arrow, and then you have access to all the the functions of a actor. Now, if it's another another class, let's say projectile. In this case, I want projectile. So class A projectile. I'm forward declaring it, and then this is a projectile. So now a projectile is not allowed because a projectile doesn't exist yet. So we have to include projectile. And now we have access to projectile and its functions. In this case, we have a public on destroy. On destroy. All right. So that's the array. Now, what if you want an array? Oh wait, sorry. Uh, let's save this. I'll show you what it looks like in Blueprint. So in Blueprint, we didn't edit anywhere, no. You should be able to access it here in BP Buggy Actor, and then search for. How am I going to be able to search it? I can just type it out. Yep, I'm going to type it out. Actors. Here we go. So what does it look like? Looks like this. That's all it has. Well, in this case, we have BP projectile. That's on the world. And what is it? What is the equivalent of that in Blueprint? We go to variables. Let's call it um, vari actors. That is projectile, right? Projectile object reference, and it is exactly the same thing, except that I can't edit it because uh, we're in Blueprint. All right. So what if I want instead of the the instantiated projectile? What if I want the class? No. So projectile, the projectile. We need to do class reference instead of object, and it would look like this. Then we can set the. Oh, sorry. It was an array. Array. There we go. Right. What if I want class reference? To make it a class reference, remember how you spawned? You use t um sub objects of the what's that the subclass of sorry right. So remember you have t subclass of, so same thing. You can do the t array of t subclass of, and then of course remove the asterisk because we're not we're not getting the um, object reference. T array, it's an array of subclasses of a projectile. So if I try to compile this, compile, it's compiled now. Always remember Control Shift S because you don't want things to explode. And now you'll see that our actors, this is the one that we have. It is now a array of object class references instead of object references. Okay. Questions? Clarification? Is that clear naman sa inyo when spawning? Clear naman. Okay. So in that case, let's say let's say I wanted to ano, I wanted to spawn the actors. One of the actors in the element. Let's say element 1. Oh, element 0. So of course you have a projectile is equal to create sorry. Get world spawn actor is a projectile. So what's our class? To get a class from the array, we can just do like actors and then bracket and then whichever element. In this case, I won't put element here. And then transform uh f transform 0 0 0 0.0. This is work. No. D D no C F. Are you gonna accept F? I'm gonna make a new one. F transform and then 0 0 0. Are you gonna allow me? Oh, you're not gonna allow me because you need the vector. Right. Right, sorry. F vector 0 0 0. There. Are you gonna allow me now? Okay, it allows me. Okay. So just one more. So all I did was just try to spawn on actors on element. And then you're just F transform. Okay, so let's try to run this. This is on begin play. Okay. Uh-huh. Press play. Oh, we don't have buggy actor. Let's put buggy actor in here. Yeah. Press play. Or are you gonna crash? Or you're not gonna crash? You're gonna crash. So, can anyone tell me why that crashed? Or why do you think that this line of code crashed my uh, Unreal? So again, what do I have? I have spawn actor, a projectile. I'm trying to spawn from the array actors on element which is zero. So actors zero on element zero, and then of course f transform. So I can open the game. I can open the project. Okay, naman. You see, I don't have the buggy actor. I do have the buggy actor somewhere. But can anyone guess why this line of code is breaking? Where are you, buggy actor? Buggy. I don't even have you here. You're not even supposed to break. I guess it runs begin play. No, none. Okay, let's read this line of code here first. I don't know if you're gonna. I don't know if you can see it. If I press Windows plus, is this? Can you all see it more? So what does it say? Oh. Assertion failed. Index greater than equal to zero, and index less than array. No, array index out of bounds. Zero into an array of size zero. In line CPP 29. CPP 29. So what does it tell you? From this line that says array index out of bounds, zero into an array of size zero. Array has nothing in it. Correct. I did not add anything yet on in that array. Hence, it tried to access it. Actors element on element. Hence, it broke. Okay. So in here, you'll see here that my actors is blank. So if it is a add one na, maybe BP projectile. If I press play, let's put in Magyapa in here. Let's put in here. It now spawn. Ah, no, kaya it's okay. Anyway, where's my projectile? Projectile. Yeah, understandable. It's not here. So, okay. So now it's working now. But the thing is, uh, it's not spawning anything. We are trying to spawn BP projectile. So, sige, let's try to put. Oh, sorry. Questions here. Gets in ng bucket, right? Uh, can I say here contains index? You can do is valid index if you want before you add anything. Let's say in 32. You can have an if. If it is a valid index, you can do this if you want, just to make sure it spawns. But anyway, um, no questions. Sige. Right now, we have a new problem. BP projectile is not spawning. Let's put a print string here. Spawned projectile. Press play. Spawned projectile. It actually is trying to spawn 3 times. Why? Projectile. Ah, because I have projectile here. Let's delete this. Oh wait. Did I have a code for this? Uh, let me let me just remove this first. The destroy. Never mind. It's possible. It's still spawning. Okay. Never mind. Uh, block all. That mesh. I mean, good for them. Good for them. It's still spawning. Sometimes kasi they shouldn't spawn no. Ito. Only because see this one. Our f actor spawn parameters. Sometimes it won't allow it to spawn because in the spawn parameter, you didn't set na always try to spawn. Right now, God knows why it actually allowed to spawn here. Maybe if I put a blocking here, put something to block it now. Tools, tools. Nope. Window, face actor. Maybe I put a cube here. Are you gonna spawn? Oh yo, he still spawned. Good for them. Anyway, yeah. In case things are not spawning, most probably because the spawn parameters. So if you want f actor spawn parameters param dot spawn collision handling override is equal to e spawn. I've thought this before. No, if you don't want it to spawn when colliding, do this. If you want it to spawn always spawn, and then you can use that here. Param. Okay, just in case. Just in case it's not spawning for you guys. Most probably because of that. Yeah, you're still there. Okay, questions? Clarification? None? Okay, one last. Now, there may be, let's say you know, you, um, let's say you worked at the lab, you went back home, you pulled your project from your repository, and then all of a sudden, the error is cannot open project or something like that. There are cases na nangyayari yun. Um, Sometimes because you renamed a actor. You renamed no. Mahirap mag-rename sa actor. What's a good reason why? Why would it happen? Sometimes your code is let's say hindi siya nag-update ng tama in your repository. It may happen, may not happen. It really depends. So when that ever happens, when you've already tried fixing it here and it still doesn't work, the worst case scenario is you're gonna have to do something here. What is that something? You're actually gonna delete. things in here. We're gonna like refresh your project. What does it look like? What I'll be deleting is VS, binaries, derive, intermediate. I can keep saved. The solution. I can also remove VS config, delete. You can actually delete those. Why? Those code, those all those code there is actually created by Unreal. Yeah, if you notice, I'm not sure if I have it here. Let's see. Uh, repository, repository, repository. GAMPRG. Okay. I think this should be your, your Unreal. No, that is Unity. You have it here. I guess I don't have it here. Let's open that here. Let me go to GAMPROG OT1. GAMPROG OT1. Go to our Git. Is the no? This is need that. Sorry. GAMPROG to OT1. This one. Ayan. You'll notice here these are all ignored. .vs, .slow, .obj, obj, sorry, .lib, exes, the solutions, PC, and then binary, plugin, build, save that, you remove save. Well, only because sometimes it creates so many log reports, right? But anyway, build, all the build here on this whitelist. They add this one. Starter content. No, I added this one because sometimes people don't remove starter content. But anyway, okay, these are all removed because Unreal creates it for you. So let's go back there. Right now we have config. Oh, well, I can remove config. Is config here? Config. Di naman. Save is removed. All this tree. This is the only things that you need. I open demo project and you see it already created intermediate. Save. You want to rebuild them now? Yes. So in the background, it's actually building it now. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. There we go. It's creating those folders again. Yung malaman niya. Binaries, intermediate. So this is the worst case scenario. In case you really cannot open it, you can start deleting those. Then try to reset. If wala pa rin, most probably you have a error on your code, and I'll show you how to get the solution. Right? For me, this is working. It's still opening. But yeah, it's still opening for me. Um, but in case it doesn't open because you have an error in your code, you can actually get the Visual Studio project. If you right click on the U project, you can actually generate your Visual Studio project files. Now you do this in case there's something wrong with your code and um, kakapul mo lang and then, doesn't work. You have to generate your Visual Studio project files and then you can access it. You can access your code from the that solution. Okay? Here. So now you can access this. You can open it. You can get your code. Now, if let's say I mean you're able to open it naman. As you noticed a while ago, wala yung Visual Studio natin. So how do we do that? How do we build our Visual Studio without using this right click generate Visual Studio project? In here, if you go to tools, you will have this option, generate Visual Studio project. Okay? Kasi right now, wala akong solution. Think, let's say you pulled it fresh from somewhere. If I try to open something, oh, it actually opened. Why did you open? Ah, mis miscellaneous files. Everything is doesn't work right. You can't autocomplete. Yeah. So technically, you just open the C++ in a text editor. But anyway, tools, generate Visual Studio project, updating. And we should now be able to open our solution. And of course, it's going to take a while because um, the Visual Studio has to read all the files in the in this project, which means everything, all from Unreal Engine to your actual files. So matagal yan. Or it's fast. Right? Depende. Okay? Oh yeah, matagal pa to. Anyway, so yeah, those are the ways how to fix things. It may not be relevant to you now, but you may have to go through this. Now, if it ever happens and let's say you're afraid of your project getting destroyed by you trying to fix it, you can message me and let me know that, sir, there's something wrong sa code ko. It's my project's not opening. I will we can have a short consultation. I'll be there to guide you and help you to fix it. Okay? If worst comes to worst lang. Pero uh better if you know how to do it yourself. Okay? Any questions? Clarification? Uh about debugging. What's importante? Importante you read the debug. Okay? That's very, very important. Read the log of Unreal. It's gonna give you a hint where is the problem, right? So like exception, is that is the access exception, right? Meaning um you're trying to access a null object, right? There's that one. The others is um it's called the infinite loop. Let's do that while true. That's our infinite loop. No, wait. I don't want live coding. You have an infinite loop. Are we gonna see our Unreal go high? No, it's just stuck on an infinite loop. Really? Wala siyang error. Nagbibigay. I mean, I can force it by spawning something every every frame. Mm, let me just close this one. While true demo project. See. So you may not be doing this naman, itong while true, right? But you may encounter something very similar to that, a while true, which is when you try to, when you try to spawn a tile, when something collides with the collider, and then apparently the collider is colliding with the next tile, so it's gonna spawn another tile, which is also colliding with the other tile, so it will spawn another tile, and then that's an infinite loop. But right now, uh, I just put a while true. Play. You should crash. Should. Are you gonna go up? Yeah. Are you gonna crash? Maybe not. That sucks. It doesn't want me to. It doesn't want to crash. Anyway, yeah. Um, there should be a log for that. Um, I forgot the text for that though. Hold on. I think it was here. Mm, nope. Someone messaged that to me before. Yeah. Well, wala. Anyway, you'll find it out yourself, and then you can just message me. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Okay. So yeah, that's how you debug. You just have to know. You have to read the logs. It will tell you specifically where the line is wrong, and then you have to, properly debug it. Understand why it's not working. Like let's say access exception, or kanina where index is wrong. Ayun. So you just have to just have to find just have to read it. Okay? So yeah, that's it for today. Again, if you ever encounter a bug and you're not sure how to deal with it, you can message me, right? So yeah, that's it for today. You guys can go enjoy your night if you have no more questions. But if you have, you can stay by and we can talk about it. Okay? So yeah, that's it. You guys can go and enjoy the remaining uh remainder of your night. Bye bye.